I'm gonna use these for outtakes, by little promo.
Show rings.
I mean, that's honest. It's honest.
He says, "Can y'all show y'all rings? Can y'all do this?" He looking like he's not sure. I just used it for my little, my little promo video, right? So on 3, we're gonna just do this, okay? Ready? 1.
I got the rubber silicone one.
I mean, I can't control that. Austin, what?
I put the good one on.
Gone. I'm like,
Austin said he got to represent on this one. Tyra didn't give him no rubber silicone.
I'm just saying.
She give him metal, something that's hard. It's gonna last.
He had 3 rings. I bought this man.
I only get 1. Austin got 3.
He got the one we got married, rose gold. This one, I don't want to mess it up. So I got him the rubber ones, the silicone. And then he wanted another one, so he got a titanium one.
Good Lord.
To keep them hooked. Got to keep them reminded.
Lost the ring? Bam, here you go. Oh, you lost your
another ring? Yeah. You need a ring to remember? Here, pick one out.
Okay, perfect. Wonderful. All right, so we'll try this again. Like I said, I'm just going to use it for my little promo stuff. So,
all right.
1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll get this one going. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. We are in episode 2 of our Love and Marriage series. I'm Standra. That's my girl, Tyra. And we're here with our husbands, Rodney and Austin. And so we're just going to keep this conversation going. Last episode, we talked about dating. And so if you haven't seen that episode, make sure you check that one out below. But today we're talking about marriage. Yay. Yay. And so we're going to kick this conversation off. I'm going to pitch our first question to the Harrises. Harrises, when you think about marriage, what are 2 things that have surprised you in marriage? We all come in with our thoughts of what it's going to be. What surprised you?
I'll just jump right in on that one. So many surprises. So many. Every day.
Every day.
I learn and am surprised by something new.
Really?
Yeah. But for the sake of time and our show, I will whittle it down to 2. Well, one thing that I was surprised about myself, because I feel like in marriage you learn about yourself. Things that you never discovered before as a single person, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things is I feel like I've worked very hard. Standra and I both are in Toastmasters. We work on our communication. I feel like I was a really strong communicator. Like, not to brag, but like I really try to make sure that I'm communicating well and respectful. And in marriage, I realized it all falls down. Like it all came crumbling down for me. And it all falls down. That's my communication. That's my communication, hitting the ground. Especially when I have high emotion about something. And I didn't realize I don't communicate well through my emotion. You should have known, and I know I didn't say it, but you should have already known it, or just a complete shutdown.
Yeah.
You've been in here when I've staged a war. It's just been a civil war. I ain't saying nothing no more all this week. That's not sure or healthy. And so I learned that about myself, and I've been working on it. The thing that I learned about Austin and there's so many, but there's one that's really interesting is that Austin plays poker, and he's actually really good. He's pretty good.
Poker face. Give your poker face. I'm all right. Yeah.
And see that face? See that face, everyone? That's the face that he usually has.
What is the dinghy?
I don't know how to turn it off. I have a new operating system, and now
Oh,
my chats come through my
Lord. You have to
oh,
go through your notifications and whatnot.
gone it. How does this even work?
I was like, what? Like at first I was like, am I having a stroke?
Can I quit it?
Is that the Lord beckoning me home?
I'm,
My time is up.
okay, so what part do I have to go back to the poker face?
Yeah, go back to start poker face because that's where it dinged when he first did his face, and I was like, that's when I was like, the Lord is calling me home. This is it. Okay. So.
Mhm.
Yes.
So that's the poker face. But he also uses that face when we're communicating, important things, right? And so, what am I supposed to do with that, right? I don't have no chips. I just have my heart that I'm trying to share.
Right.
And I did that.
Give me the face, Austin. Give me the face. Give me the face.
Right. And I pour it out. I pour it out from here. I'm in my shanana, right?
Yeah.
And so it took some time for me to know that he was still processing what I was saying, and that it meant something to him, right? Because then I just threw in some maybe not the nicest words just to get a jolt, which is not healthy and not good.
Say something.
Say something. I'm trying to provoke, which is not good, a response that was other than the poker face. And I later have found that even though he doesn't seem like he's emoting, he is listening to what I'm saying, and it has a.
It's okay. Keep moving. Yeah.
He is listening to what I'm saying, and it has been received. So that was a big surprise. I didn't know how to deal with that in the beginning.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. But I think it's important to reflect on that, right? So those things that I thought I was bringing in, and like I said, I'm a great communicator, until you get thrown in this thing, this is a whole different beast. This is something different. So for me, something that surprised me about myself, so my mother has always told me, and I didn't quite believe it, but she always told me that I'm hard on people. But what I've learned is I might be a little harsh on people. Are you waving to me? Okay.
I quit the application, but do you still hear it?
Yes.
Go to the option.
Hold on, so sorry. What?
It's like the iMessage chat or work chat.
It's iMessage chat, and then I just quit the application. But even quitting it, it's still coming
Yeah,
through.
it's still gonna give you the.
Yeah, remember, I told you I had to do that big update.
Yeah, there should be a way to turn off the sound to it. Cause like even if it dings you, because again, what if you're in a meeting?
Yeah. Like I can't even. Do you see the? Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Okay.
Did you take him out, Isabella?
I did, Austin. Here it is.
Okay, so
iMessage.
unclick. Oh, go back.
Okay, hold on. General setting.
Yeah. See where all that's click. See, click up, turn that off.
Notify me.
Yeah.
Notify. Play sound
effect. Yeah. Turn all that off.
Okay, sorry, y'all. Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, so I think I did the thing when you were like, your mom said you're always harsh on people.
Yeah, I'll just start this section over again. So for me, something that surprised me about myself, my mom had always told me that I'm hard on people. Oh, you're so hard on people, and I didn't believe it then. But now, being married and especially with kids, I realize I might be a little hard on people. I might have really high expectations, and then when they don't get met, I might react in a not so pleasant way. Are you holding it together over there? Don't do this. Don't do this. I got another surprise for you. So, but yeah, so it's something. I recognize it. We'll work on it. We'll see. Another thing, so something that surprised me about Rodney is Rodney's ability, kind of with the poker face thing. He may or may not be processing, but his ability to just not let it bother him whatsoever. When you talk about unbothered, hashtag unbothered, that is this man right here. Right? It could be just, house on fire, and Rodney is just like,
oh, let's go.
The house is on fire. We gotta go. And I'm like, say, man, the house is on fire. Just go. House is on fire. We gotta, so his ability, he balances me well. Because again, I'm and he just, hey, is what it is, Oh, we're bankrupt. We're not really bankrupt, but he's just like, yeah, no big deal. Yeah. We'll find a quarter somewhere, so
we'll bounce back.
Right. His ability to, it's completely surprising because I wasn't expecting that. Like all the time. You're never gonna ever? Okay. So then I gotta be that for the both of us, right? So then I gotta turn it up extra.
But do you have to?
Oh, what about you, Book?
Oh wow. Oh man. So I guess that it goes along with what Standra just saying, that just even tone. I've always been a person that's in control, and some might call it controlling. And that, I always told her from the very beginning, I don't like surprises in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Don't throw me a surprise party. Don't pop up with anything that I don't know about. I just don't do surprises. So, and that keeps me on an even keel. So, the thing that surprised me most about myself in marriage is that I was able to, release control over a number of things. Like I said, we have kids. It's always been, you do ... point blank period. And like I said, they did it or they didn't do it. Okay, but we had it out there. And just to let that go and let Standra be the mother that she can be. And I was just like, that's control. Giving up control over just anything was troubling or a problem for me. And just being able to do that with my wife, I was like, okay, I am growing. I said, not, sometimes you grow by choice. Sometimes you grow just by being pushed. So I was just like, all right, I can do this. I want this to work. So let's grow, Rodney. The one thing that surprised me about Standra, it's just the fact that she's still here. So I was just like, wow. Because like I said, I recognize about myself that, it's not a problem, but I'm a lot. Because like I said, when my expectations for each other are high. And like I said, Babe is very verbal about hers, what she expects and if it's not met. With me, I'm just pretty much, why don't you know? I've told you once, like 3 years ago, what's the problem there? So now the fact that she's still here after all that, there is a God, people.
I told you I loved you on our wedding day.
You gotta hear it again.
Why I gotta keep saying this? Yes. Okay, this is Austin, did you do yours or did I skip you? Okay, my bad. Do it now. It's fine. That's the blessing of producing your own show. You do what you want to do.
Okay. Wife, husband.
Yes. But yes. So Austin, what surprised you about yourself and about Tyra?
Well, about Tyra, I think one of the biggest things that was surprising to me is she is absolutely hilarious. I don't think I've ever laughed as much as I have in my entire life until I met her. I knew she had some jokes, but her ability to tell a story and just, in such a way that it's like you're there, and she's witty, she's funny, it's never a dull moment. She can find the humor in everything that we do, right? I mean, just being able to sit outside at a park and people watch, right? And it's a riot. And and then later on, found out that she was actually in theater. And truth be told, had she not gone down the career path that she went down, she probably would have been an amazing actress. And so, but at least I'm her biggest fan here. She keeps me entertained. We have like a running joke that's like, for whatever reason, around 12 o'clock, it's like a combination of sleepiness and the silliness that, the best material seems to come out when she's tired, And so I think that to me was refreshing as a wife, because, when people always talking about, you always have the struggles of life and the things that marriage can throw at you from time to time. But if you have the ability to sit with a person and just laugh with them on any number of things, I think that in itself is a blessing. So
Sure.
that's one thing I was pleasantly surprised about, and glad that it is the way it is. Surprising about myself, I don't know. I think I've known myself pretty well over the years. I think probably the biggest thing surprise about myself is you don't realize how maybe selfish I was until I got married. Like I said, I grew up mainly just me and mom. I had all the attention, did what I wanted to do, but the amount of energy that goes into having to try to serve the other person, and be cognizant of what their needs are, and understanding it's not about me all the time. And again, like I said before, the whole compromise thing, it's I think that was probably one of the biggest things I've had to overcome in marriage. He ain't done with me yet. But I think that was an area that I really had to find some growth and maturity, just getting outside of my own selfishness. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's deep. That's great. So, here we are in the thick of this thing. What two pieces of advice, Tyra, would you give if a woman came to you and said, "Hey, considering marriage, what do you have for me?"
Let's see. And like Standra, both of us spent a lot of our years single, so I feel like I have some things to share on that note. I think a spiritual note going into it would be something that the Lord actually gave me that has stuck with me and has just been an anchor for me over, almost the 4 going into 5 years that we've been together. I don't know. I think it was early on. I was praying and I just knew the Holy Spirit spoke this to me because it was just so profound and it just didn't come from me. And he said, "Tyra, in this relationship, always remember to fight on your knees and don't fight each other. So when the storms come and when the times come, fight on your knees, bring it to him in prayer and don't fight and tear down each other." And I think that that's something that sadly I have not obeyed, and I've seen the fruit of that, but I have seen the fruit of when I've obeyed that. And it's it's the heart of God. Everything is better. His heart's protected. My heart's protected. We can go on, and it's so much better. And I think again, the practical piece I would give is something I think we've learned in our church and through premarital is when you have what do we call it? Heated fellowship, strong fellowship, things like that, because it's going to happen. And I feel like these are my 2 pieces of advice because everything is real rosy.
Right.
going in, right? You have rose tinted glasses. And so a lot of people always feel like you don't have the tools. And I don't know if I felt like I had the tools to, when you're going to go through things, because you're two people coming together. But on the practical side, learning to disagree and to be respectful, to be loving, to stay away from absolutes. You always and you never and well, those are loaded, as I've learned. And one thing they taught us, like in primary, like if you can touch, like as you're talking and just trying to bathe something in love, we say that, bathe it in love. But if you can physically touch, it is very different to go off. Right. And bring it down a little bit. Maybe a chest rub, Standra. A chest rub.
You got to give it all to me at the front. You can't just say touch, because you better tell me it all.
Right. Just a little physical touch. I have noticed, like if we're touching while we're trying to talk in a heated, it does something. It diffuses you a little bit. I mean, the emotion is still there, but yeah, those would be my two.
Wonderful. Awesome. What about you? What you got for the fellas? Young man comes to you, sir, I am ready to get married. What do you have for me?
I would say definitely seek out premarital counseling. I think, kind of like what Tyra said, I think the greatest benefit that we had was our premarital sessions. Being able to kind of get some things out in the air and being in a space where you have maybe some other couples or church leaders and people who've been in marriage for a while. Like seek out people who have knowledge, who've been in long marriages, who've been in good marriages, and seek out that counsel, because it's not always a nice little handbook that's given to you. This is how it's going to be. It's, you need to lean on some people that, that can kind of give you some insight. And so for us, I think the premarital part of it was extremely beneficial because, it just, it has, it's one thing when you talk with the person, but with your significant other, but it's another thing to have conversations with someone who can be a third ear, right? Who can see who's not taking sides, who can kind of balance out, well, I understand where your point of view is, I understand what, her point of view is. And then, it's just being able to someone to be able to speak into your marriage, right? And so, being able to have some tough conversation. I mean, we had some great conversations that came out of premarital, things that we probably wouldn't have discussed pre-marriage, all right? So I definitely would say seek out, good premarital counseling, and then surround yourself with a good community of accountability couples, right? It's like if you're really serious about entering into a relationship, a marriage, you need to be surrounded by other people who are in marriage. So that means you can't lean on your single friends anymore for guidance, right? You can't, those guys are not gonna, if you're not in the same mindset, those aren't the people that you need to be going to. And that's a lot, I think that's a place where a lot of people get in trouble. It's like they're talking about, you're serious, I want to settle down with this girl, but then you're talking to people who aren't married, who still trying to do whatever, and it doesn't work. It really doesn't. So, I would say, make it a point to surround yourself with, good, strong community of couples, and make sure that, they hold you accountable, right? Having someone there that can check up on you, that says, hey, how's everything going? Tell me about, what you might be feeling. Because 9 times out of 10, they've been through it, right? People who've been there, done that, they might see your struggles are not so uncommon, right? Other people may have experienced those same struggles. Let me tell you how we got out of it, right? Or what we did. So, I think that's extremely important when you're talking about going into a marriage.
That's awesome. Wonderful, wonderful. What about you, Brother Booker? What advice would you give to a young scrapper looking to get married?
Well, definitely, I'll just reiterate what's been said, and that premarital counseling is definitely something that everyone should go to. We went I guess, had two versions of it. We did it with the minister that was marrying, that was going to perform a ceremony, and we did it through it's a clinical site.
Mm-hmm.
So, and two pieces of information I received, one through the clinical site was when they talk about finances. And of course, they have the subjects finances, children, and just relationships and talk and communication. And it was funny, they mentioned about some people have problems when one spouse makes more than the other. And, just without thinking, my first thought in the middle of the room was, I have no problem she makes more money. I mean, she gets up there to 100, 200,000. I'm good. Just start. Hey, this is one pot. We all live
one pot.
One pot. So
One pot.
And
yeah, exactly. But and then on the
but I don't make more money than him. Though. This is the thing. He wants me to, but I don't. So go ahead.
Okay. We're gonna leave that in recording.
Yeah.
But also that for the minister emeritus, he said every time someone asks you about your marriage, you have those passing conversations. Oh, how's everything going? Always give the response, great, or just we're doing good, or God's keep on working on us, and don't let the negativity of those flash moments be your story to someone. Because all they're gonna see is that 5-second snippet, and then they're gonna just take that and run with it. And they're never gonna know the whole story because they're only that little moment.
Yeah.
So I know that's been very always in the back of my mind when I talk to someone. Like I said, we had those heated fellowships, and so I can't run out here and run into my old buddy from 2 years ago I hadn't seen and ask how's marriage going, and I just start going at it. And then I don't see him again. So that's because that's going to be the image that I'm portraying in marriage. So, those are the two things I'll say about, I guess, the spiritual side, or practical, however you want to say it. And then just simply, just be yourself. I mean, be your best self, is what I'll say. Because, just like I was talking in the last episode about transparency, however God made you, is who you need to be. So if you just put your best foot forward in the marriage and always strive to do your best and improve yourself, then you will improve as a couple.
Thank you. Very interesting.
Nuggets, right?
Yes. And this is good that we're doing this, get some information. But for me, I would advise, number one, get your grace game up. The amount of grace that you've been given is also required of you. And so in a relationship, in a marriage, you have to be, quick to extend grace and forgiveness, because everything's not going to go your way. Everything's not going to go the way you want to. So get your grace game up and be ready to extend that grace. I would also, Austin kind of mentioned this earlier about laughing. I would highly recommend having a partner you can laugh with. Laughter is, oh my gosh, it is medicine for the soul. We laugh so much that it carries us through even some difficult situations, right? Because you're able to then laugh about it. You can laugh at yourself, right? We are free to even laugh at one another to a certain extent, because don't take it too far, because then, feelings get hurt. But, but you got to be able to laugh. And so, like what Austin said, like, we are hilarious. We could take this show on the road, man, and make some money. I'm the funny one, and he brings it along. You gotta have a straight man in your routine. But yeah, like it's such a refreshing, because we are friends. We are friends, and we can have those moments where we just sit and relax and we laugh. 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, we're laughing about dumb stuff, but it's us. It's who we are. So I would definitely recommend laughing. Like, if you're not with somebody you can laugh with, are you even with the right person? Like, why are you not laughing? Life is too short to take it so seriously. Laugh. That would be my advice.
That's good.
Well, yeah. I'm just so happy we had a chance to do these episodes, invite our husbands in. They've been chomping at the bit to get in here. And so now you guys have met them. Yeah.
We'll have you guys back. We'll have them back. there's so much to unpack around this topic, and I'm sure we can have, we'll definitely do some things, some fun things.
Absolutely.
More of that humor side come out, I think.
Yes, we should play some games or something. Play, just
Yeah.
let them loose. Let them loose. But
Mm.
yeah, so again, we always want to give you guys something to think about. Tyra, if you had to give them a takeaway or a call to action, what would it be today?
Well, I wanted to read this scripture, and I think it kind of goes with that. So, Song of Solomon 8:6, and it's the first part of that scripture. And it reads, "Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm, for love is as strong as death." And so I feel like to think that, go into it sober minded, go into it, when the Bible is talking about set me as a seal, to me that represents commitment. That represents, some stick to itiveness and some steadfastness. And to also know that it's such a powerful, powerful thing that God has given us, the ability to share love, to know love, to love another person. And I know we toss a lot of things around in our world, a lot of words around. But I think marriage is one of the things that love doesn't become it's not a word, it's action. It is committed action, ongoing, and you set your mind to press into it, not run away from it when it gets hard. So, ask the Lord to continue to guide and mold your heart, open your heart to see his design and his way, and just to lead you on that path, as to who he has for you, and also who he is making you to be for that other person, right? And I think that, that's some just valuable perspective to have going into love and marriage.
Wonderful word. Wonderful word. All right, you guys, we thank you again for viewing. Please subscribe, share, tell a friend or 2 or 10. Tell your guy friends, right? We got guys on here now, so let them know. Let them know. Gospel tea. All right, until next time, say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.